Welcome to our channel. Watch the video until the end. Leave a like, and subscribe to the channel to support us.
This car operates solely on water and air. The entire automotive industry is on the brink of collapse because an efficient water engine suitable for daily use has finally been developed. This engine threatens both electric and fossil fuel vehicles, as it aims to completely eliminate the huge levels of pollution produced by vehicles. Join us to take a look at the newly discovered water engine and some reasons why it might destroy the entire automotive industry. First, let's look at the key reasons why this hasn't been done in the past. The automotive industry has been pursuing the development of water-powered engines for a long time, generally without success. Every previous attempt was either a complete disaster or simply not efficient enough for practical use.
Although there have been some promising projects, they were mostly abandoned for various reasons.
The closest we have come to actual water-powered engines that have moved to the prototype stage are vehicles with fuel cells and hydrogen combustion engines. However, both options remain inferior to electric vehicles and regular internal combustion engines as the technology is still quite rudimentary and inefficient in the long term. Finally, we are at the dawn of water engines, as a few years ago a man developed a rather functional prototype.
Meet the inventor of the water engine, Aladdin Kemi, an Iranian scientist credited with inventing this new engine.
Kemi has worked hard to find an alternative to fossil fuels, and his efforts have recently made one of the most significant breakthroughs for the entire automotive industry. Kemi, who resides in Garaj, a city in the west of Tehran, claims to have converted a gasoline-powered Peugeot 405 into a water-powered vehicle. He also stated that the engine found in the converted Peugeot is highly efficient, reliable, and simple, which makes sense because he developed it from scratch in his spare time. According to Kemi, energy is generated when water, H2O, is separated into hydrogen and oxygen, creating a chemical reaction in the process that provides the necessary energy to power the car. It works similarly to a hydrogen combustion engine, like the one found in the BMW Hydrogen 7. Except it doesn't use highly flammable compressed gas as fuel. The system is commonly known as Generator H. The tank has a capacity of 60 liters and is positioned where the rear seats used to be. It has been claimed that when driven economically, the car can travel distances of over 900 kilometers at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour, meaning the car consumes about 6 liters of water every 100 kilometers, making it extremely economical and reducing the need to stop, making it more convenient than electric vehicles, especially over longer distances. This is just one of the benefits of using water as an energy source.
Let's look at some other significant benefits of water engines. First, compare the water engine with its fossil fuel counterparts. Water is actually more powerful than regular gasoline as a fuel source. 1 liter of water can generate up to 96 mJ of energy, while 1 liter of gasoline produces only 29 mJ. Almost 4 times less. This doesn't mean we'll all be driving super powerful cars, but we will definitely have enough power to meet the needs of most people. Moreover, internal combustion engines produce all kinds of toxic emissions, the most evident of which is a large amount of carbon dioxide. In contrast, the water engine developed by Kemi produces only water vapor, which causes almost no air pollution and makes the water engine a blessing for the environment. Using water as fuel is simply much more convenient from a pragmatic standpoint, as water is considerably cheaper than gasoline or diesel. Yes, distilled water is significantly more expensive than regular tap water, but it is still cheaper than regular fuel, making the car as economical as an electric vehicle. Furthermore, water engines offer a much greater level of convenience, as they can be refilled practically anywhere and in a much shorter time. Moreover, they do not depend in any way on the electric grid, which mainly uses fossil fuels to produce electricity. Speaking of electric vehicles, they are highly complex and sophisticated machines, which means that maintaining and repairing them can only be done by highly qualified and informed individuals, and this tends to cost a lot of money. Replacing the battery in a basic Tesla Model 3 costs nearly a third of the entire car. Compare that with a mechanical set, which is much simpler and easier to work on, and you will easily see the main benefits of using water engines for daily use. Lastly, let's talk about the advantages of water engines over hydrogen vehicles and fuel cells. First, there is no need to separate hydrogen from oxygen beforehand,
making the whole process significantly cheaper and more convenient on a global scale. Second, you're not sitting on a literal napalm bomb that could explode at any time. Hydrogen is a highly corrosive gas and is also extremely difficult to contain, which means the tanks have to be armored and also require constant inspection, since hydrogen leaks are much more dangerous than leaks of gasoline or water. Given so many benefits derived from using water engines, you might wonder when we will see widespread adoption of this revolutionary water engine. And that's exactly where we find ourselves in a dilemma. Although this invention is extremely impressive, technically it is not the first of its kind. Water engines similar in design have been created in the past. However, for some reason, they do not receive funding and are completely overlooked by the industry, especially if they were created by a small company or an individual and not by an automotive giant like Toyota or BMW. Even though water engines have been built in literal garages, no major manufacturer has even presented a semi-official version, much less a vehicle suitable for daily use that uses water as an energy source. This is baffling, to say the least. The missing piece of this puzzle may be found in the past, so let's go back to 1998 for a moment and take a look at the first water-propelled car that functioned properly. This vehicle was similar to Chemy's Peugeot 405 and was produced under rather rudimentary conditions. It developed in the late 90s and was a unique prototype, a buggy equipped with a water-powered engine. The buggy was designed and developed by Stanley Allen Meyer, who on numerous occasions stated that both automotive companies and oil companies threatened him and tried to push him to destroy the vehicle. Meyer even claimed that he was offered millions of dollars in exchange for the destruction of any evidence of the car. Unfortunately, in 1998 Meyer died mysteriously from a purported cerebral aneurysm. What makes the story even more sinister is the fact that all this happened during a dinner with his brother and two Belgian businessmen interested in his invention. After drinking his cranberry juice, Meyer ran out of the restaurant clutching his throat, and his brother followed him. Meyer stated just before dying that the two businessmen had poisoned him. He then collapsed and never woke up again. To make the story even stranger, shortly after his death, his garage was ransacked by an unidentified assailant, and the car he had developed, along with most of the schematics and tools, were stolen and never seen again. We are not saying that the oil companies were pursuing him, as we do not know whether Meyer's claims before his death were true or not. Meyer and his brother might have sought publicity by becoming martyrs with these claims. However, we must admit that the circumstances surrounding his death are very strange. Other people have developed engines similar to those of Chemy and Meyer, like the Pakistani scientist named Agha Waqar Ahmed. Ahmed's invention also worked with distilled water, and many people claim that the car itself was completely functional. However, it was completely ignored by none other than Attar Rahman, former Minister of Science and Technology of Pakistan, who completely discredited the project, stating that such inventions simply cannot work and that, even if someone managed to make a functioning water engine, it would violate the laws of energy conservation. Chemy's invention seems to face the same problems. There have been no significant updates on the development process for several years, which is extremely sad to hear. As much as we would like to see a water engine become more than just a concept, the automotive industry continues, for some reason, to delay and ignore the development of such engines and vehicles. We believe that until a serious car manufacturer steps forward and supports the development of water engines, we will definitely miss out on the great benefits it could offer us. We just hope that Chemy and his Peugeot 405 powered by water have a better fate than Stanley Allen Meyer. And we would stay away from Belgian businessmen and cranberry juice for quite a while if we were in their place. In conclusion, the story of water engines, despite being full of innovation and potential, is also intertwined with significant controversies and obstacles. These obstacles not only demonstrate the technical and scientific challenges such technologies must overcome, but also the complex social, economic, and political dynamics that influence their development and implementation. The growing interest in cleaner and more sustainable alternative solutions might, however, lead to a change in how these technologies are perceived and valued in the future.